parts in my film. He is an alternative energy wildcatter.
Awesome hat.
What are you up to these days, Steve?
I took that money that I was able to get out of our geothermal company out west, which we built into about a $500 million company middle of last year, and I put it back into green wildcatting here in Texas. I got an office down in Austin, and I worked hard to get the new laws passed for non-wind renewable. It's been successful. Looks like there's going to be 500 megawatts of biomass and geothermal steam power in Texas. Yeah. So there's maybe 2,000 megawatts or more of new steam underneath the Texas Gulf Coast in these massive sandstone basins. And that stuff is like geothermal power on steroids. It comes out of the ground at 3,000 pounds a square inch, and we've teamed up with General Electric and a big oil company who has done some research, and some oil and gas scientists, because there's 10,000 wells in these sandstone aquifers. We got 120,000 acres of leases, and we're going to try to make power out of it, power for Texas, cheap green power for Texas, and create jobs. Use the same kind of drill rigs and the same Texans and Coonasses and Okies to run the rigs. So it's something where we kind of stand on the back of giants, but it's new clean power. So I mean,
and that's kind of the subject of the next film that I'm working on right now, which the working title is called Green Gold, and and basically the focus of that film is about how we can save the planet and restore our nation. And we're looking at the next epic of our existence, and you guys probably all know this, I'm preaching to the converted here, but what we do is we have massive population growth, we have massive energy demand, and we have depleting resources. So what we need right now is 21st century solutions. So this old political machine is not working. And when we talk about being progressive, I really feel that it's important that we talk about solutions, solution-based, solution-oriented in our mentality. Because oftentimes when it comes to the subject of energy in this nation, there is more heat than light. And so it's important that we all stay focused and demand clean energy. And we are all soldiers now. We are fighting a revolution right now. We are soldiers for Mother Nature, and we are fighting to save the planet. So I ask you here, as a takeaway, yes, I'd love you all to come out and see my film when it premieres in the theater, but also, most importantly, I'd love you guys to go out and realize that you are a soldier, and every decision you make, your behavior and what you demand at the pump or when you plug something in is, you know, that you start thinking about clean solutions. And algae is definitely part of that. So let's run that algae clip. I'd also like to say is, no matter what side of the fence you stand on, I think that we can come together as a nation in the fact that we all want to get off foreign oil. And that's, yes, and that's what I really hope to do. I want to create mediation through media. So that's what the 10th Mill website is all about, and that's what Growing Gold is all about. And Houston, we have a problem, so thanks for your support. And I also just want Steve to tell you a little bit about some of the fun stuff he's up to in Texas.
So I'm having some fun here in Texas, all right. One thing that I'm doing with a little bit of that money, aside going out, occasionally go cowboy dancing, the main thing I'm doing here is algae. And I think that gentleman that was on earlier has got it right. We need to make a shift. And we need to make a shift to algae. And algae can be used for transport fuels. It's basically clean oil. Clean oil comes from algae. The kerogen that the oil and gas guys talk about down on the ground and migrates up to oil and gas, you know, that's mostly algae oil. Only Mother Nature bakes some bad stuff into it sometimes, and that comes out in air pollution. So we can raise massive quantities of algae, and we can raise algae on warm water. There are millions and millions of acres of warm saline water in America, including Texas. You take water at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you can double or triple the algae growth, we think. So I'm spending some money on that. Could be a good business in Texas. I'm fortunate to be allied and have hired a guy running the algae lab at the University of Texas, 3,000 species of algae. There's a lot known about algae. It's going to be right. It's going to be good. It'll replace coal. And there's a good chance with the stimulus money coming out, people will figure this thing out over the next 5 to 10 years, and we'll quit killing people, killing our boys offshore in Iraq. And Sheehan is one of my heroes. I'm so glad to see her do what she did. And that's what algae's about too. So I thank you very much. I love working with this woman. I've sponsored a little thing we call the 10th Millennium Project. That means the 10th millennium of man. And it means we've been screwing up this planet for 10,000 years. And it's time we start restoring this place. And algae part of that solution too. So I thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here.
Thank you.